Ruke, Trevor Groves, CUTigers.com. I guess start with what were your emotions like, running down the hill for the last time in Death Valley?
Yeah, I really didn't want to leave because, you picture it, but you can't describe the feeling when it's actually coming to an end, like when that last whistle blows. And I was just sitting there with TD and Maskell and JP, and I couldn't, my body was just so heavy, I couldn't get up because I left it all out there on the field for the 5 years I've been here. Every ounce I've given was on that field. And so it was just a time where I just had to sit back and reflect on all the things that I've done and all the good and all the bad. And it was just such a pure moment that I shared with my brothers, and I'm really happy for that.
Really cool when the fans started yelling Ruke when you're next to the rock.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was always one of my dreams of mine because I wanted to hear that, and I finally heard it. And I heard it a couple times before, but it wasn't as loud as this one. And so it's just a testament to how great the fans are, and I really appreciate you guys for that because it was a special moment for me and my family.
But we're going into rivalry week. This game, obviously, they got one on you guys last year, but you guys have won more than your fair share of them as well in your time here. What's this game like for you and the preparation for it and taking the field in front of the state of South Carolina on Saturday?
Yes, it's a big game. It's a really big game. Rivalry week is always fun, and I love going into environments like that. They have great fans over there, and they make it fun for me to play. And so we didn't get the job done last year, and so my goal is to get the job done this year with me and my teammates and bring the Palmetto Trophy back home to Clemson.
The SEC and SEC officials talk about how tough Williams-Brice is. You guys have won since dating back like 2013 there. What's it like to play at Williams-Brice? What's that atmosphere like?
It's crazy. The first time I was there was my freshman year, and I couldn't believe it was that many towels in there. Everybody was just waving the towels around, and I was so confused as to what was going on. And that's when I first got introduced to Sandstorm. I don't think I've ever heard that song before in my life, but it was just a thing that I would never forget. And so I'm looking forward to going there and playing one last time.
Does the sense of urgency change coming off a loss in this game a year ago versus, X number of years that you were here where it was just extending the win streak, but do you sense a different urgency, particularly among the upperclassmen going into this year's game?
Yeah, definitely. But I just try to approach every game the same. Every game is a big game to me. And so I thought last week was the biggest game of the year, and I think this week is going to be the biggest game of the year. And so I just try to prepare with that mindset every week and try to stay consistent.
Dabo talked about the threat that Spencer Rattler is. So in you guys' preparation for this game, describe the task it's going to be to slow Rattler and some of his weapons down this
Yeah, he has great arm talent. He's a really good player, and so it's our job up front to keep him in the pocket and try to affect him and make him uncomfortable as much as possible. And so if we affect the quarterback, and that changes the trajectory of the game. So it's a task for us up front in order to get the job done and make it easier for the guys on the back end.
The fact that Drake May was able to break some big runs on scrambling against you, was that kind of a good thing in a way because Rattler's a similar type of quarterback?
Yeah, it definitely was. We faced a lot of mobile quarterbacks this year, from Jordan Travis to Haynes King and Drake May, Riley Leonard. We faced a lot of mobile quarterbacks, so we've practiced that way before, and so we're just going to try to keep them contained and not let them get out the pocket as much. And just honestly, it just all starts from all being on the same page. Just keeping them in the pocket and not over-rushing the quarterback and staying on the same level as him and stuff like that. So.
Go ahead. Coach Laney was talking about how football is such a developmental game, and I know you came in here kind of a raw athlete that developed. How were you able to keep that perspective yourself and comparing with somebody like Devontae Capehart, who was supposed to come in and be this big guy, and he's kind of developed?
Yeah, I'd say just coming from high school to college, you don't think it's a big difference in your head just being a young kid, but it's the biggest difference in the world, honestly. I remember my first practice, things were just moving so fast, and I couldn't even keep my eyes shut because I just wanted to catch everything. And I just always felt like I could get better. And the coaches we have here do a great job in developing a lot of players. And I just never really got too down on myself, especially when times were hard when I was a younger player and I just couldn't figure things out and I couldn't figure out how to play this block or how to do this and that. I just knew that with time, you know, success will come. And God has blessed me with the talent to just be successful in some aspects of the game. And I always think I can get better. There's always room to improve, and that's what I'm looking forward to do next year and the years beyond.
And Monte, like, how have you seen him kind of have the same?
He's scary, man. Like, he's such a grown man, and I always used to tell him this when he was younger. I would look at him at practice. I'm like, bro, you're humongous, and he just gets bigger every year. And on the field, he looks humongous. So I would just tell him, like, bro, just run through people, just be big and physical. And it's finally starting to click for him. It's like it's normal. It's normal to us because we've been seeing it, but I feel like he throws a grown man around every game, and I hope we just keep that trend going into this game. So I'm really happy for him and his success.
I remember in the locker room after the NC State game, defense played a great game, holding them to just 202 yards, but still lost, and you know some of the same mistakes offensively as early in the season. But you and the other guys on the defense never pointed fingers or begrudged the offense because they weren't holding up there and anything like that. A lot of teams would be divided in the locker room if that were the case. But
yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because we're a team, man. We're together. We're really close. I'm close with a lot of offensive guys, and honestly, I try to put the blame on me as much as I can. Although we played a pretty good game, but if they don't score, they don't win. And we let them score a couple points, and so we blame ourselves as much as we blame anybody else. So we try not to point the finger because things like that can cause a cancer in the locker room. And this season could have did a whole different trajectory if that started to happen. And so me, myself, and the leaders just took it upon us to make sure none of that was happening. There was no pointing fingers. There was none of that, because if I look at you as a brother and you're going through a hard time, I'm not gonna push that in your face just because I'm succeeding and you're not. And so we just try to lift those guys as much as possible. And it's been working out for us well. Kay's been playing good and the offense has been playing great. And so I'm just really excited and really happy that that's been happening lately.
Ruke, we've heard from some of your teammates the ways in which Dabo, Coach Sweeney might have challenged you guys in the aftermath of that NC State game. I'm just wondering in your mind what that looked like to you, what that challenge looked like to you, how you internalized that, and if you saw any noticeable changes in the way he coached you guys after that game.
He basically just challenged us to finish, honestly. Challenged the guys that came back to finish. He said, it's up to you guys, you guys have to be the ones that play, and it's your team. And so we took it upon ourselves to make sure that we try to finish in the best way possible. We just, whatever I had left, I was going to find some way to give more, and I was going to put that into my teammates, and we were just going to give more and more. And this took a lot of energy out, because every practice, every day, I just try to drain myself. Like, after practice, I don't even want to be able to walk off the field. And so just that instilled in us and the team, and it's helping us finish, and it's helping us go on the right trajectory.
Job's not done yet, but to see what you guys have poured into it since that game and the results that have come with it, how rewarding has that been? It's
been great to see. It's very inspiring, man, because a team that was 4-4 and lost 2 games in a row, a lot of guys would have quit. A lot of guys would have just packed it up and left, and nobody, not one single soul on the team or in this building quit. And that's just what you love to see. It's very inspiring, especially for a guy that has no more eligibility, and I can't play next year. I can't say, I'll get him next year. I can't. And so the guys, they just wanted to make sure the seniors go out with a bang. And so you got guys like Cuddy and young guys like TJ Parker giving it their all, even though they have years left to play, but they're going out there battling through things just for us to finish the way we need to finish. And so it's just, I'm very appreciative of that.
Coach Sweeney has said that he feels bad for the defense, because you're elite caliber, good enough to win a national title. But obviously the struggles with the turnovers. But after winning the national championship, he referenced that 2010 team, and he said that this season reminds him a lot of that 2010 season. That was really frustrating. Is that kind of what you're playing for now, as one of those seniors who are going to be moving on to lay that foundation for the future?
Yeah, technically, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm trying to give these guys a slingshot into next year. We finished the way I know we can, and just from how the season started to where it is now, and we finished, that gives the team so much momentum into next year. And a lot of people don't realize that, but just coming off a 2-game losing streak, especially on the road, and now winning 3 games in a row and trying to win the rest of them out, it's just so much momentum in the next year, and I'm excited to see how those guys take it in the next year, and they'll be really successful. I can't wait to see.
Ruke, you've been alluding to the progression of this team as the weeks have went on. I'm curious, do you believe that the defense is playing its best right now? And if so, how much confidence does that and swagger does it give you guys heading into the biggest game in the state Saturday?
I think we're playing pretty good, but I just think we can play so much better, and that's just what we keep striving for, is to get better and better each game. We gave up 400 yards last game, and we hated it. We just hated it so much, and so now we're just going to use that as fuel to, be the best defense we could possibly be, and we're just always looking for ways to get better. We don't look at the past success we had. We flush whatever games we had and flush whatever we did, and we're trying to be the best defense this week, and we're trying to be the best guys on the field this week. And that's what Coach West and Coach Eason and Coach Ski and all those guys have instilled in us, is there's always more. Don't ever get satisfied. And I think that's really helped us in order to get better and better as a defense and finish out the right way.
What are some of the specific things y'all could do to be better?
I'd say for us up front, just not letting the quarterback get out the pocket as much. A couple quarterbacks have got out sometimes, and I think we could do a better job at that and just take a lot of stress off the back end guys, and just tighten up a few nuts and bolts, make some more tackles, fit some more gaps, and just it's fixable stuff. As long as it's fixable stuff, I'm happy, because stuff like that you can fix. But if it wasn't fixable, it'd be a different story. But there's a lot of stuff we can fix, and I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Ruke, there's a lot of passion that goes into these rivalry games. If you had to pick out a favorite memory from this South Carolina game over the years, what would it be?
My favorite, honestly, was probably hearing that sandstorm for the first time. Just looking around, it's crazy. If people have not seen it, they need to see it. There's so many towels, and I just can't believe that they came up with that many towels. I'll probably say that was my biggest memory, because I was so young and I was just introduced to the rivalry. I never even heard about the rivalry until I got here, and you never know. You really don't know how serious it really is. And so from that day on, that's when I'm like, all right, I feel like I've been here my whole life, and I feel like I've been a rival my whole life. And so I'd say that's probably my favorite memory.
Have you imparted that to some of the freshmen that are from out of state and didn't grow up with it?
Yeah, I have, because people, they take it serious, man, and you don't really know how serious they take it until you get here. And so I'm trying to act like these guys, they went to Daniel and they grew up here their whole lives, and they're a part of the rivalry. And so that's what I try to instill in my mind, and it's helped me, and so I hope it'll help the team.
Take one more for Ruke.
Going back to Saturday, you had a moment with JP there in the tunnel after the game where you guys are laughing, looking back out at the field. What's going through your mind there? Kind of knowing that was it for you on that field.
Yeah, it was so surreal, because me and JP, we came in together and we're roommates, and we've lived together pretty much our whole careers here, and it was just like, wow, it's really our last time. Like, I could see him standing there, and he was waiting for me. He said he was going to wait for me, and I couldn't find him, and I finally found him. And it was just so much joy that just rushed my body, because we put in so much work, man. And him as a guy, he's fought through so much, and I fought through so much, and just knowing that we gave it all we had, and hopefully we left the fans really happy with a win like that, and just going out with a bang. And I'm just so excited to see how the future turns out for all of us.
All right, I appreciate it, Ruke. We've got Phil Moffa right outside.